Hey, hi, welcome back to BRR Knowledge Center. So, in this today's session, we'll talk about conditional statements in C#. So far, we have seen and executed the programs top to down execution programs where it doesn't have any condition or kind of logic or condition validation. So, it is simply going to execute line by line and then it is printing simply on the console. But when it comes to execute a couple of statements based on the condition, you should use the conditional statements. A statement that can be executed based on a condition is known as a conditional statement. Got it? So a condition or a statement, right? So a statement uh, that can be executed, right, based on a condition is known as, right, conditional statements. So the statement is, right, often a block of code. Okay. So C# offers, right, below conditional statements, right? First one is conditional branching. That means execution of bunch of statements, right, based on the condition is known as conditional branching. Second one is conditional looping. That is loop, right? And third one is, right, jump statements, right? Jump statements. We'll quickly see conditional statements, or sorry, conditional branching. What is conditional branching? So C# conditional branching primarily focuses on if and switch statements. So C# basically, right, focusing this C# basically focuses this conditional branching, right, with if and switch statements, right? The main mechanism for executing or branching to a different code, right, depending on whether the condition is true or false. These things can get validated using if and switch. Coming to if statement, right? This is what first statement, right? The if statement allows you to test whether the condition is true or not, or not a specific condition is met, the proper expected result or not. So these things can be validated using if statement in the condition, and then we'll move the cursor to execute the true part branching code. Otherwise, move to else part branching code stuff. So the syntax is, right, simply if, right, and then you say condition, right, and after that here you need to say block of codes, that means statements. Simply if it is not met the condition, again you will put if else, that is condition. Again here statements, right, which gets it's execute. If still not met condition, right, I'll make else statements here so that it comes and execute in the else part statements. Got it? The first condition not met, then goes to else if, right? Then it comes to else. So if you want to keep multiple else ifs also, you can keep it, no problem in it. But this is the basic syntax. So this skeleton we have to follow it for even adding multiple ifs, right? So what about the nested if, right? So nested if follows the same syntax like if of, right, condition, right, condition, and then here I'm going to have another condition here, another if statement, right? That way I'll have, right, statements based on the conditions, right? If it is not done, I'll again move to, right, else part of nested if, right? Otherwise I'll come here and I'll keep my else if condition, right? And then I'll keep my statements, right? And then I'll keep my else part here. So like that, you can implement nested if also, right? Let's get see like how it is working programmatically. Let me open my Visual Studio, right? Here I'll remove this stuff, right? And I'll copy a program, sample program here. I have it right now, right? This is where the function which is going to find out a larger number, right? So what I'm doing is, right? So I have a greater than b. So I have two values here, right? A is 2 and b is 9, like, 3, right? So what I'm doing is, I'm just validating whether, right, this particular a is greater than b, then I'll say that a is greater value. Otherwise, I'll simply say b is greater than. Let's just mention simple condition a greater than b. This is conditional statement, right? So when I run this, it is going to display the result as, right, b is a greater than a because b is 3 and a is 2, right? A is greater than definitely false, and then it moves to b else part. That's why it is showing b is a greater value, right? Similarly, same thing you can achieve with different program, right? Let me show you that. So if you want to find out same thing for three numbers, right? Using nested if, how we are going to do that? Same thing, right? Only thing is here you are just keeping if statement, right, instead of another if. That means if you look at here, this is my if. I'm just saying a greater than b, and the nested if I'm saying a greater than c. If two conditions are valid, right, I'm going to say that a is, right, the greatest number among the three values. Got it? Else, right, I'll say definitely C is the greater value because I compared A greater than B and then, come into inside of my nested if. Then the second condition is fail, right? Definitely the C is going to be the greater value. If two conditions are, now first condition itself is getting failure, right? So what it will do is, it comes to else part. So in else, again, I just kept a if condition here. If b greater than a, then I'm saying, right, b is greater value. Got it? Otherwise, I'll say c is greater value. Got it? The only thing is I just use nested ifs here. See very clearly. So I just put first condition, a greater than b, and then a greater than c. Then I'm saying a is bigger value. Else, C is bigger because already A greater than B. Only this condition is getting failed means already B is less to A, hence A is less to C, hence C is greater than number. And if these two conditions are failed, then coming here and else, I'm just checking B greater than A. If B greater than A, I'm just saying B is the greatest number. Otherwise, else C is the greatest number. So you can change this complete stuff, right? If you want in different way, right? Tell you. I'll just make this statement here and I'll just uncomment this. So A greater than B, right? And right, A greater than C. I'll give no expression here instead of no having nested it, right? When this is true, both conditions is basically AND operator. I'll say A is bigger than, right? A is the greatest number, right? So, and after thing is not satisfied with that, right? I'm going to compare B greater than A. That means if else if, right, B greater than A, and that means this way, B greater than C, then I can say, right, B is a bigger number, right? Otherwise, I'll say simply C is greatest number. Got it? This is how simplified I mean. I'm just using this expression, the multiple expressions with AND operator. A greater than B and A greater than C, A is a bigger value. What happened? Okay. Else if b greater than a and b greater than c, the b is a bigger number. Else c is the bigger number. When you run this, so what it will happen is this. Okay. Close, close this, right? Close this, close this, and close this one also, and keep here. No, console rod, read line. 11 minus, so does not exist current capacity. Okay, then I should give within 9, right? When I run this, it tells you C is a great number because a 5 is greater than B and greater than 2, right? This is how to simplify using this simple, multiple expressions using simple if instead of nested if. So both ways you can write it, but only thing is I'm just, reducing or minimizing the controller, the execution flow of like validating multiple types if statement, right? Because when I use multiple ifs, everything is coming and validated by compiler, right? At runtime, and then it is validating. So instead of doing all this stuff, if I have a single if, right, it just validating the stuff and printing that. Only two conditions right now I have. If I have multiple times, it is coming out and executing. Even if it is coming here and executing here also, right? Let me tell you, when I run this, right, what is happening is it is validating first statement, right? If it is false, right, going here, then it is coming in that part. That means every if it is validated, right? That's how it is taking more time to validate or execute the if statements. That's why we move to a switch statement, right? Now let's see a switch. So the switch is basically using for avoiding the performance impact or performance challenges in the if statement. That is, when you have multiple if statements, right? It is going to execute all the if statements. Hence, we have a problem with that, right? The switch syntax is it is very simple. Switch, right? And expression, and then curly brace open and close. Now each one having a case, right? Case value colon break. That means if the case one is valid or no true, then what it is doing is it is breaking the execution process and coming out of the loop, right? That's how it is giving no more performant comparatively if statements. If we have AND ifs, so all AND ifs are going to be executed by a compiler. But if I have 100 cases here, only one case is going to execute to fulfill my statements. Like here, again, we have statements, right? That's how it is, executing your statements, right? Based on the case, it is no satisfied, right? And it won't execute all the cases. That's how it is minimizing the execution process, right? Let me show you this statement demo program, right? Uh, Demo of switch statement program. So to do this, so I'm going to take a variety of concepts like I'm going to give some numbers A and B, and I'll ask a user to enter some no operator like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and based on that, I'm going to execute that. That means basically my switch is taking operation or operator by end user, right? Based on this, I can say case one, right? Do addition. Got it? If case 2, right, do multiplication, right, and then break means come out of it. If case 3, right? I'm going to do division and then break. So like that, I'm going to do this stuff using the switch statement, right? Let us see like how programmatically it is going to happen, right? Do else stuff, right? And break. I'm going to copy a program for switch statement, right? As I mentioned, so I'm going to have a program where it is asking a user to type the no kind of operator, and based on that, it is going to give the result. Let me go back to my Visual Studio, right? I'll paste that, right? Stuff. Paste the stuff. Okay, let me do this. Now, oh shit, I missed this. If you look at here, so I already having two variables, right? Which basically asking the end user to, uh, give those values, right? Once after giving those values by end user, right? I'm going to pass, right, a choice to the switch statement, right? Let me show you that. So the first I'm asking enter a value, and then I'm holding that entered value in a variable, right? Right? This is something I'm holding. First, I'm asking enter to a value, the first number, enter a number, right? Enter a b number, or enter a value, enter b value. I'm holding these a and b in a and b variables, and I am printing just the operators, right? To describe to user saying that 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplying, 4 for divide. So based on the choice is typing 1, 2, 3, 4. That choice I'm keeping in choice variable. And that choice I'm passing it to switch statement. If it is 1, I'm just adding, 2 means subtraction, 3 means multiply, 4 means division. Got it? It is invalid. If A is not given choice between 1 to 4, I'm just saying invalid choice. Let me try to run this and see that it is going to ask you numbers to A and B values, and then it is saying, into the operation you want to perform and asking choice. When I say like 2, 1 and press enter, addition is happening, 10, 20. When I press 2, it is going to happen subtraction, right? Let me see that. When I say 2, right, it is subtracting 20, 10 minus 20. That means minus 20, right? And again, let me see a division, right? Enter 20, right? And I'm saying like no 4 division. So 10 to 20, 2 as the value. So if you look at the running process, like how the switch is executing, right? Compared to if statement, I'm just putting a plug point here. Let me go back here, like give 20 and 10. I'm just giving 4. Coming here, then this choice is 4, it is holding here. And go back here, it is directly coming to case 4. It won't execute case 1, 2, 3, right? So unnecessarily it is a waste of time to execute this process. If you look at if I say like if choice is 1, if choice is 2, if choice is 3, all ifs are going to execute, and then it is coming to if choice equal to 4. That means all ifs are executing there. But when it comes to switch statement, directly it comes and jumps into relevant case. And then it is again coming back, coming out of it. Then because we used a break. It's coming out of a loop, a switch loop, and coming out of the process. That's how it is saving a lot of time for the compiler. Okay. I hope you understand the difference between switch and if statements. Okay. Thanks for listening to this video, and please subscribe the channel for more videos. Thank you.